Hello, this is Jess Hay from Creative Cards to You. What if I told you that this sad little pile of paper scraps could be turned into this, a vibrant, sparkling masterpiece, all in just a few simple steps? Today I am going to show you the most addictive card making technique that will completely change how you see your craft supplies. We all have one, that drawer, that box, that corner of the desk, just overflowing with leftover paper scraps that are too pretty to toss, but too small for most projects. It's a struggle every paper crafter knows well. Well, get ready to start seeing that scrap pile not as a problem, but as a treasure chest. We are literally going to turn trash into treasure. If you love finding new ways to make your craft supplies stretch further, you'll want to stick around. And hey, maybe even subscribe, because this technique is a total game changer. And I have to warn you, it is completely addictive. In fact, I couldn't just make one card, I had to make two. To get started, I just tore the scraps into different sizes, and I adhered them to a piece of watercolor cardstock using matte gel medium. Let me tell you, I have a healthy respect for that stuff, as it is quite sticky, and it took many iterations of soap to get it off my hands. I'm not being too careful with my color choices and just decided to go truly with what I had. I tore around the edges and are just putting them down quite randomly. When I was finished gluing everything down, I put matte gel medium over the top and dried it with a heat tool. Next, just watch what happens. I add sprinkles of Lindy's Magical Powders and the Garden Field Notes color and added some water, and just look at that shimmer. I added more blue until it was just too much, and so I used a piece of scrap paper to mop up some of it so it wasn't quite so dark. When I was happy with how it looked, I dried it with the heat tool. I stamped this sentiment onto the mop-up page and cut it out with a die cut. So I cut it out and put it on the right way. To finish off the card, I added some ephemera from my stash, cutouts from alcohol inked paper that I had done with Lou Collins' folk art layering butterflies. I adhered both the sentiment and the butterfly with thin foam strips. Now, I enjoyed this card so much I thought, what else do I have in my stash that I can use? I remember that I had some cutout edges from when you use like an etude die cut with scalloped edges or whatnot, and I saved them because I thought, well, maybe I'll use them one day. Well, I can safely say I have never gone back to use the cutout edges, so I had quite the collection. I went through my stash and just kind of sorted some of the pieces into a pile that I would use. Now I got smart this time, and I learned my lesson, and you can see I have put disposable gloves on. I followed the same process as before, but this time I used a pigment powder from Colorology. You can see with the first one that I squeezed the bottle and it put a whole glomp of powder on the card, and oh my, that's a lot of gold. So I decided to add this second pearl rose gold to try and knock some of the yellow gold back. This time I gently tapped the end and was able to control the amount of pigment powder much better. I added a little bit of the blue color from the Field Notes Lindy's powder to match the sentiment. There you have it, another completed card. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.